Spider-Man PS4 was a great game. Let's talk about the inevitable sequel. A lot of these predictions are going to be related to the story of Marvel's Spider-Man 2. My first prediction with the sequel is that it's going to deal with Peter Parker grieving. We know in the ending of Spider-Man PS4, Aunt May passed away, Dr. Octavius got locked up, Martin Lee is also incarcerated. Basically, the people he's looked up to are gone. Either they passed away or they turned out to be awful people. But I'd like to see how Peter Parker deals with this, and I feel like him being in a dark place after the events of the first Spider-Man will lead to him interacting with Venom. Another thought I had is something I don't think a lot of people have talked about, and I think it's been hinted in the game, is that I believe Peter Parker's character arc will eventually lead him to becoming an entrepreneur. There's a clip of Norman Osborn saying to Peter, "Hey Peter, when are you and Harry gonna start that business you always talked about?"
Hey, Peter. Harry will be coming back from Europe early next year. Maybe the two of you can start that business you always talked about.
I think in the sequel, they're going to touch more into that since Peter doesn't have a job anymore. So I think he's going to start his own science business. I think it would be cool since they're thinking that Harry Osborn will be introduced in the sequel. Peter and Harry will be like, "Hey, you know how your dad and Otto messed up? Let's make our own business where we can help people through science and not turn out to be villains." You know, with Harry's condition in the last game, we'll see how well that turns out. Another prediction I have, which is pretty obvious, has to do with the end credit scenes of Marvel's Spider-Man. The first one was with Miles and Peter, and we see how Miles now has superpowers. It would be such a missed opportunity if you don't get to play as Miles as Spider-Man. I'm 99% sure that you will get to play as Miles in some form in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Along with that, people have been saying co-op. I think an obvious thing you can implement with Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is having races. You know how back in the older Spider-Man games you have a race against Johnny Storm, or you go through those orbs and you try to beat a time limit? I think with this, maybe you get to play as Miles and Peter's trying to teach you how to web swing more, so that'll be an excuse to do races with Peter Parker. I think that'd be pretty cool. Anyways guys, that's just a quick video of my predictions for the upcoming Marvel Spider-Man sequel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and until next time, peace.